Welcome everybody. This is Chris Dwayne from ChrisDwayneSilverShieldCoins.com. Every week I release 2 new mini mintages that are available for 1 week only and tend to go up in price and value on eBay. You can find them over at ChrisDwayneSilverShieldCoins.com. So today I wanted to talk about a fight that I see brewing in the silver space that it's going to define how silver comes to the world. Silver is the most strategic metal of all metals out there. It has more patents than all other metals combined. It has 10,000 industrial uses, and if you look at all the high-tech industries, they're all very silver intensive. Everything from the technology sector to the military sector. Silver is the most reflective, the most conductive metal of all time. And is used in all high valued items and projects out there. I mean, if you look at what happens in the military, you have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of planes and missiles and all sorts of stuff that all use a lot of physical silver. But if you look at the commercial side of it, where Elon Musk is with Tesla, all of his businesses revolve around silver in some part or the other, and it's going to take a massive revaluation of physical silver to bring on more mining supply, because we've been severely undervalued in silver for so long that we haven't built up any mines, and these mines take up to 10 years to come online to bring out any new ore. But what I see is brewing is that there's going to be a battle between JPM and Tesla, or Elon Musk, for the future of silver. That there's going to be it looks as if JP Morgan's positioning itself to hoard all the silver that it can after manipulating it down for the last 14 years, that they are going long. I just posted this article yesterday talking about how now JP Morgan has 750 million ounces long position in silver, and that this is a one-way bet that is basically the only way out of this Ponzi paradigm is going to be a complete revaluation of physical silver. Well, if the price of silver rises, that's going to put a profit hit on all of Elon Musk's industries. You can't have solar power without silver. It just doesn't work any other way. You can't do it with copper, and you can't do it with tin or anything else. Silver is this miracle metal that's in between, where it's available and it has all these things. But Elon Musk's business are going to be held captive to this hoarding that JP Morgan's doing. So my whole point is that right now is the time to be getting all the physical silver you can before it goes actually up to unobtainium, where it's not available for any price. I have people coming to me yesterday talking about, well, where do I think the price of silver is going to go? I said there is no limit to the amount of the value of silver in a global generational debt-based fiat Ponzi collapse, because all the currencies in the world will suffer from the exact same problem of hyperinflation. When these markets start to turn, the central banks, we've already seen the Federal Reserve lowering rates and pumping out all these billions of dollars to keep the market going. There's going to be more and more money chasing after fewer and fewer ounces of physical silver. And I think we're going to get to a point where we're not going to have a steady price rise of silver that we've already become accustomed to this month, with silver going up pretty much every day 4 or 5%. I think we're going to end up having an experience where silver is going to sell out. And then what did the industrialists like Elon Musk do, other than coming out with a huge checkbook and trying to secure as much physical silver as they can, as long out as they can? And that would have industries working directly with mines to bring physical silver up. But what we don't see is that when that time comes happening, I'm sure that the governments are going to look at the silver mines and be like, well, there's something that we can tax, regulate. There could be strikes, there could be coups, there could be nationalizations that further hinder the supply of silver for a long term. And this is not something that's going to be fixed overnight. This is going to be decades in revaluing physical silver and bringing on new mining production and probably even better use of silver. I'm not a big fan of using silver in solar. I don't think the return on investment's there when we have easily affordable and available oil that we can be burning instead. So I would not want to have a lot of industrial use of physical silver, but I would try to drive the demand into a monetary investment and even spiritual demand that silver is the only way that we can fight against the debt and death paradigm. This is the only way out, that silver becomes more valuable than all the other assets on earth. So looking at this right now, it looks like JP Morgan's in lead by taking a premier position of being the largest silver stacker on earth right now with 750 million ounces of physical silver, or at least a long position representing that. And the other 8 banks out there are holding the short position, and now JP Morgan's going to squeeze them for all that they're worth. I think that we're going to see price inflection of physical silver blow through all technical readouts. People are going, Chris, the RSI is at an all-time high and all that. It doesn't matter. When there's a paradigm shift that's happening, it's all or nothing bet. I think that the entire global generational debt-based fiat Ponzi scheme, $2.5 quadrillion of digital illusions of wealth, Ponzi power that have been built up over generations, is going to evaporate overnight. And I think that, well, the only thing that's going to be left standing is physical silver, even more than gold, Bitcoin, and the dollar. Those are the silver mining stocks, which I think are another trap that's going on right now. So if Elon Musk was wise, he would be going all in on physical silver right now, at least to secure the amount of silver that he needs for his industries to keep his value-added business at $1 trillion status. And they probably have to work directly with JP Morgan because they hold all of it. So this is going to be an interesting thing that I want people to pay attention to. You're going to look at JP Morgan versus Elon Musk on who's going to control the future of the silver age of humanity, because that's what has to come out of this. A collapse in the faith of governments, currencies, markets, regulatory agencies, the police, the justice system. Everything's going to collapse when this everything bubble collapses. And it's not just the United States, it's China, it's Russia, it's India, it's Middle East, it's the euro. Every currency on earth is going to collapse all at the same time as silver is being released from multi-years of manipulation at the hands of JP Morgan. I said yesterday, I don't know how JP Morgan's going to get away with it, other than that they're going to be the only ones holding the physical silver when all this happens. So I don't know if the U.S. government is going to start twisting their arm because JP Morgan's been involved with cocaine. They got caught with a boat that they owned with $1.3 billion worth of cocaine. So how much cocaine is JP Morgan money laundering through there? JP Morgan's associated with the Epstein blackmail conspiracy that's going on there. So the United States government could use these criminal factors to leverage maybe the silver away from JP Morgan, but that's just going from one thief to a bigger thief. The real answer to this is to be your own central bank, to be your own government, to have your own currency, of having physical silver outside the banking system in order for it to collapse. Because when it collapses, it's going to be the single largest event in human history, and it's not something that's going to be fixed overnight. And your only way that you're going to be able to transfer your wealth from one paradigm to the other is through physical silver. I had another question yesterday of how much silver should I own? It's like saying, how much money should you have? I mean, you should have as much physical silver as you possibly can. I personally think 1,000 ounces will get you to king status on the other side, where 1,000 ounces represented 10,000 days of hard human labor at $0.10 a day. Usually labor in the Bible terms, and before we had this Ponzi paradigm, $0.10 a day, a silver, 1/10 of an ounce silver piece was a day's worth of hard human labor. And each ounce that you own is essentially 10 days of hard human labor in that time where I said that we're going to have a collapse. So I think that if you have 1,000 ounces, that equates out to 10,000 days of hard human labor, or probably 30 years. And that you would be essentially a retired king in a world where everything falls apart. And the purchasing power of that silver is going to be even more magnetized, because you're going to have all the capital markets collapse at the same time, and silver is going to be able to be the only cash out there that's going to be able to go buy up all these assets. Things are going to change, and it's just going to change from one paradigm to another. And I think silver is going to be the inflection point, the critical material, the very, very meaning of the Jubilee is going to happen through physical silver. But right now, the focus to me is right on JP Morgan, because they are at the center of the manipulation that has happened over the last 14 years. In this article coming out saying that they are now long 750 million ounces of physical silver. That's larger than any nation state that I know. The United States doesn't have a silver stockpile like that. The United States used to have 1 billion ounces in strategic stockpile that has been totally destroyed and decimated, and that the United States doesn't have any physical silver left. So I think if there is a financial crisis that takes down the entire global economy, the United States government will probably move against JP Morgan for silver manipulation and probably take up their entire stock hoard of physical silver that they got through illegal means of manipulation over all these years. And then, Tesla, which needs these things for all the technological uses, that all their EV, their solar, their rockets, all these stuff. And that's just one company. We're not thinking about all the other technical tech companies out there, all the militaries out there, all the investors out there. There's going to be a massive demand for physical silver that's simply going to sell out silver. I don't think that we're going to get a stair-step rise in price like we've already gotten accustomed to. I think we're going to have a part where silver sells out, and it's going to be an oh shit moment. Like, this is what I've been calling for. I am coming out back onto YouTube. I used to have a YouTube channel with 173,000 subscribers called The Greatest Truth Never Told. I'm hoping that I can build this channel back up so that Google releases those videos, 4,000 videos I did over a decade that woke people up to physical silver back when it was in the teens, in the 20s, and the 30s. And then now we're at, almost $64, $65 or wherever it is today. This is just the beginning infancy stages of a much larger hyperinflation. I talked to on another video talking about how hyperinflations happen in months. If you look at Weimar Germany, it was only like a month or two that went from thousands of marks per ounce to trillions of marks per ounce. That's how quick a hyperinflation is going to happen. And I think this is going to be the largest one because it's going to be a global one, that there's going to be a massive movement of money into physical silver that's simply going to sell it out. And we're going to have incredible large gaps up where money is going to be transacted behind markets, from Elon Musk to Silver Mines or JP Morgan or somebody. They're going to write huge checks for this. But I think that people who have stacked silver won't want those paper promises or won't want that cash, and then we're going to have to set up a silver standard, a new silver age, a new valuation of silver over everything, where I think that silver is going to be a single asset hyperinflation worth more than all other assets on earth combined. So that's where I think we're going with this. I hope if you're interested in this channel and you want to hear more about how I think that silver is going to be the largest inflection point of all human history, subscribe here, share this, and if you have any more questions, put them in the comments below and I'll try to address them as they come up. Thank you.